Hey, I'm Vitaly from Good DIY Plans, and in this video we're going to be diving into building a wall cabinet that matches the base cabinet from our previous video. The link for that is going to be in the description. This wall cabinet is designed to be beginner friendly, yet it follows the same solid and tested practices of standard cabinetry. So a quick rundown: the wall cabinet Carcass here is made from 3/4 inch plywood, 1/4 inch plywood for the back and door panels, and a solid wood face frame. It features 2 doors, 2 adjustable shelves, and can be customized to fit your garage, laundry room, kitchen, or any storage area. And like before, the DIY plan will be available for you to make this a hassle-free build. Let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to need to make the side panels of the cabinet. So here we have 3/4 inch thick plywood. Each of these panels is 42 inches by 12 inches. And we're going to make some modifications to these panels. The first modification we're going to make is we're going to cut a groove along the bottom and the top of the panel here. So in this case, we're using a 23/32 undersized straight router bit to make a 1/4 inch deep groove. And we're doing this so that we can later on join the cabinet carcass together with a dado joint. So here we can see that the depth is 1/4 inch, and it's about 1.5 inches away from the edge here. And we're going to do the same thing for the top here as well. The second modification we're going to make is we're going to cut another groove, but this time along the back of these panels. And this is where the back panel of the wall cabinet is going to slide into. So we're going to use a 1/4 inch straight router bit to make a 1/4 inch deep groove. So we can see here that this is going to be a 1/4 inch deep, and then it's indented from the end here by 1 inch or 3/4 inch, depending on where you're measuring from. The final modification we're going to make to these side panels is we're going to add some shelf pinholes. So there's many jigs out there. I like the quick jig for this. You need to make sure that the distance from the edge of the panel here and the actual pinhole needs to be 2 inches, at least 2 inches. So make as many as you feel is necessary, and then go ahead and move on to the next step. So here we're going to add the floor panel and the ceiling panel of the cabinet carcass. This is also made out of 3/4 inch thick plywood. Each of these measures 31 inches by 12 inches. And we're going to make just a slight modification here by adding only 1 groove along the back. This will be for the back panel. So we're using a 1/4 inch straight router bit to make a 1/4 inch deep groove. Again, same thing. So 1/4 inch deep, and then it's about 1 inch away from the edge here, or 3/4 inch away from the edge here, depending on where you measure. And we're going to do this for both of the panels. And let's go ahead and introduce the back panel now. So the back panel is made out of a 1/4 inch plywood, and it measures 31 inches by 39.5 inches. And to integrate these components together, we're going to start by just adding a little bit of glue here. So the glue is going to be for the dado joints. So this is the side panel. Add the glue in the groove that you cut. And then go ahead and add the top and the bottom floor and ceiling panel. Sometimes these might not want to slip in easily, so you could just use a sander to just very slightly knock off the edges so that it fits perfectly. And next, go ahead and slide the back panel into the groove that you have going along the back here. So it's this groove that you're going to be using to slide in the back panel. And then go ahead and cap it off with the final side panel that you made earlier. Okay, and here you can see that the back panel sits nicely in the ceiling or floor panel. And next, go ahead and use some wood clamps to hold everything together temporarily while you create the face frame and while you add these stretchers to this. So first, let's work on the stretchers. So we have 3/4 inch thick plywood that we're using for that. These are identical, so they're 30.5 inches by 4.25 inches. Use pocket hole jig to create some pocket holes in these stretchers so that you can integrate them together. And once you've got those ready, go ahead and add these stretchers here. So this is going to be the back of the cabinet, and you're using 1.25 inch long screws to secure the stretchers to the side panels here. And next, let's go ahead and work on the face frame of the cabinet. So you're going to be using 1x2 lumber and 1x3 lumber. So the 1x3 is going to be that center stile in pink here, and then the 1x2 lumber is going to be for the rails and the other stiles here. So we got 42 inches for the stiles, and then 39 inches for that center one, and 28 and 15/16 inches for the rails. Integrate these together by drilling some pocket holes and then adding some pocket hole screws, again 1.25 inch long. Use wood glue, and then once you've got all of those connected, just sand it down to make sure everything's nice, flush and even and ready to be integrated together. So there's a couple ways to integrate the face frame with the cabinet carcass. Most of you will probably be painting the cabinet, so easiest thing you can do is just use some pin nails and then go around the perimeter and then secure all of this together. So once you've got the face frame in place, then this is going to be much more sturdy because you've got the stretchers in the back and the face frame in the front holding it together. If you're not going to be painting these and you'd rather stay in your cabinet, another option would be to add some tape along the edges here, or a combination of clamps and tape so that it can all hold together while you're waiting for that to dry. So now let's go ahead and create the shelves for the wall cabinet. There's a couple ways to do it. One way is to use 3/4 inch thick plywood and 1x2 lumber. So we have 30.5 inch by 10 5/16 inch for that plywood, and then 30.5 inches long for that 1x2 lumber. Secure these together by using pocket holes and the 1.25 inch long pocket hole screws along with some glue. You're going to need a total of 2 of these. And next, go ahead and integrate it into the actual cabinet carcass here. So you've got those adjustable holes that you've pre-drilled earlier. Now you can add the pins into those holes and then actually support the shelves here. All right, so for the doors of the wall cabinet, we're going to be working with 1x2 lumber for the rails and 1x3 lumber for the stiles. So the stiles are going to be 41.5 inches long, while the rails are going to be 9.75 inches long here. So to do this, we're going to be using a specialized router bit. It is going to be a tongue and groove router bit set, and that will be also linked in the description below. So first, for the stiles here, we're going to cut a 1/4 inch wide by 1/4 inch deep groove in the center of the stiles using that 3/4 inch tongue and groove router bit set. So to illustrate that, you can see here that we have a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch, and then the actual depth is also a 1/4 inch here. So for the rails, we're going to be using a 1/4 inch wide, so that same exact router bit set, but here we're going to cut a 1/4 inch deep groove along the center of that rail, and also we're going to cut a tongue on both ends using that 3/4 inch tongue and groove bit set again. So to illustrate, we have here a 1/4 inch by a 1/4 inch, and then again, so just like with the other one, and then a 1/4 inch here, and the depth here is going to be also a 1/4 inch. The only difference here is we've got that tongue, so the tongue is also going to be a 1/4 inch by a 1/4 inch. So Once we've got all those grooves cut out, we're going to add the center door panel. So this one is going to be made out of a 1/4 inch thick plywood because we have that 1/4 inch thick groove. And we're gonna have this 10 1/4 inch by 38 7/8 of an inch for the dimensions of that plywood. And integrate these together. You can use you would need wood glue and then just use some clamps to be able to hold everything together while it dries. And then you can see how the joint comes together for that panel here. We're gonna need a total of 2 of these doors. So make them nice, sand them down, get them prepped. And now let's go ahead and add the doors to the actual cabinet carcass here. So you can use a Craig hinge jig to drill precise holes for the cabinet. And then you can install these soft close hinges. They're going to be linked in the description below. That way you get the correct hinges for the cabinet that you're building. Now this video is not going to cover how to attach the hinges to the doors and then the doors to the actual cabinet. There's a lot of great videos out there that explain this process. It's pretty straightforward if you're using a hinge jig. I'm going to have a link in the description of a guide that shows how to do it that I really liked. So once you've got all of that taken care of, go ahead and add the doors now to the cabinet itself. So you're going to secure it with some screws. Those are provided, and you just got to follow the manufacturer's instructions to be able to attach those. The dimensions of the wall cabinet are going to complement the dimensions of the base cabinet from the previous video that we made. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, you are able to get the DIY plans. I have the plans available for the wall cabinet that we just discussed, also the base cabinet, or if you'd like, you can purchase both the combination of wall cabinet and base cabinet. So when you do get the DIY plan, the reason why it's helpful is because all the information is right here. So you're gonna have all the links to all the things that you would need to buy for this plan, the tools and materials. Also the lumber shopping list, including plywood cut optimization. So if, for example, you're building 3 wall cabinets at a time, which is the most optimal, there's a cut list for that. Or if you're just building 1, there's also a cut list for that. And then you also have your dimensional lumber cut list as well for the face frame and the shelves. Also, there's information here about what type of wood to buy, where you can get it, what to stay away from as well. And then we also have information here about how to actually build the cabinet. So step-by-step instructions in great detail so that nothing is missed. And also at the end here, there's bonus information about how to paint the cabinet as well. So if you're going to be painting it, how to clean it, sand it, filling imperfections, priming it, and so on. Best practices are going to be covered in here so that your finished cabinet looks great. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you love DIY, you're going to enjoy Good DIY Plans Etsy shop. What I have here is over 250 different DIY plans. Each of these is beginner friendly, and each of these is a great project that you can tackle either by yourself or with your kids. Thanks for sticking around again. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe if you want more content like this. Have a great day.